fast. And I actually have another question, but I'll do it privately. Connecticut passed the 10 round, New York passed 7.
Sorry, no, your private question. I don't think men wear boas. Okay, go ahead.
Is that off camera?
No, that's on.
No, that's on.
That stays on.
I want to copy that. All right. Connecticut offered registration to its citizens. New York offered registration to its citizens to allow them to keep legally owned property that they purchased prior to the law passing. New Jersey did not. New Jersey has basically told us, if this passes, regardless of when you bought it, you have to get rid of it. How is that constitutional in regards to this law passing? And I see Christie not passing the law for that reason alone. Not because he's friendly to us, but
Yeah,
because
I personally feel that there's a constitutional problem with that. I think you can confiscate property if you give, compensation. Without compensation, I don't think you can do it. New York and Connecticut, I think, realize that, and that's why they grandfathered them in. That's why you see in California when they banned assault weapons, they grandfathered them in. The reason is if you take your property without compensation, I think that's a whole other legal issue. And maybe that's Christie's cop out and why he doesn't sign it. All the way in the back, there was one more question. You had a question in the back?
Oh, yeah, I did. We were just talking about that. I'm active in a new grassroots group in Pennsylvania called Concerned Gun Owners in Pennsylvania. And I think a lot of other people here seem to be involved in smaller grassroots groups that we're trying to grow, we're trying to organize, and we're facing a lot of challenges. In my group, we're also facing burnout for the people who are the most dedicated. And as the head of the SAF for decades, where can we look to for guidance in growing our groups and managing all the challenges, both as far as the group goes, but also our own personal ones?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've been doing this for 40 years or so, a little over 40 years. And I'll tell you what keeps me going are people like you. I mean, when I come here and people want to shake my hand, have a picture taken with me, thank me for what I'm doing, I mean, it pumps you right back up and back out the next day full of energy all over again. It's really tough. I find that the burnout factor is definitely there from time to time, and it usually happens right after, it's like the 18 months we've just gone through. A lot of those people will come back into the fold. They just need a little break for a while. And, I can see it with supporters and gun rights activists all across the country, not just in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. I even see in places like Georgia where we just had some big victories. Usually what keeps our people going is that they get a glimmer of hope or something else is on the horizon that looks like it's winnable or help push the cause, and you get back in it for one more fight because something's happening. When nothing is happening, the burnout tends to stick. So it's important to come up with creative programs and projects and things to push. Even if they're small little victories, pirate victories, things in the press that you find a politician that's done something wrong that's anti-gun. A good example is in California. You had Senator Yee in California who got indicted for being the world's largest gun runner. Well, you don't know how that fired up activists in California. There were people that have dropped out of the fight because they just burnt out, and I just gave them, all right, I'm getting back into this, we're going for their throat. Even little things like that help. So if you catch something like that, can help publicize it, blow it up, magnify it, that helps out a whole lot.
Where can we look to for models for growing organizations and the structure and increasing membership and all that kind of stuff?
Start saving your pennies right now and show up at the Gun Rights Policy Conference in Chicago this year, the last weekend of September. The information is on the SAF website at saf.org. You will get to meet like-minded people from all over the country, from grassroots groups from every single state. You get to sit there, and to me the big thing at the Gun Rights Policy Conference is not the agenda itself, which is phenomenal, but it's the networking that goes on in the back rooms and at the bar, and meeting the activists around the country, what they're doing in their areas, and picking brains and getting the ideas, and spreading what worked in one place to another place. I mean, it's phenomenal, and that's the place to be. It's the gun rights event of the year. I know there's been a number of people from New Jersey. Frank's been there.
Hardly recommend 100% going to this. It's a free event that the SAF offers us. The only thing, is your cost is you've got to arrange for your own travel and your own accommodations. But the SAF, provides us with all kinds of materials.
Yeah, a couple $100 worth of free materials. We pay for everything, the food. If you want alcohol, you have to pay for that yourself. But otherwise, we provide the food. It's the place to be. All the national leaders are usually there. I mean, it's a place, quite frankly, that what comes out of it every year is a significant number of gun groups, grassroots groups in one state getting stuff from another state to work, moving it, making it happen in their state. New ideas get germinated, new groups get started. It's the place to be.
Okay,
Yeah,
now,
we're gonna come back to Washington D.C. Down here.
It's funny, the reason we don't go to Washington D.C. as often is we've tried to do it in presidential election years to be able to have more of an impact on the national debate on guns. And we have found that those are the years that are the most difficult to find the accommodations at a reasonable price in DC, because that's when everybody wants to be there. We're so big, there's so many hotels that can handle us, and as a result, those are the hotels that tend to charge the highest prices. We pick up all the cost on it. The biggest problem is the room cost for the attendees. We try to buy down the room cost by paying more for the food and other stuff so that you can stay there cheaper. And in DC, we can do it, but you want to spend $250 a night for a hotel room, or you want to spend $103 someplace else. That's the problem. So we're in Chicago this year, and next year we're in Phoenix.
okay, so I don't want anybody to be disappointed that they didn't get their book signed, so I am going to have to interrupt at this point. I'm sorry. I would love for us to just stand here and talk to Alan all night, but I know that's the book signing was part of the deal, so I would like to. All right, thank you.